Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. So I've got a very special guest with us today. We have Triona here from Pathfinder Relocation Services here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So Triona, it's great to have you here.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
You've been helping people relocate to Malaysia for a long time, I believe. Can you tell us a little bit about your expertise and what you do?
Yes, since 1996, I started working with a company from Singapore that I helped bring people into Malaysia. And I was on the ground, working on the ground at that time. That was my first introduction to moving. In 2000, they sold the company to an international global management company. And I set up in 2001 Pathfinder's Relocation Services. So I started myself a relocation company in Malaysia. I was based in Penang originally, and then I moved down to KL. We cover quite a few areas in Malaysia. Penang, Ipoh, Kuala Lumpur, Johor, and Kuantan.
Someone wants to move here. They want to move to Kuala Lumpur. Mm-hmm. They visited the city. They really love everything they see. They can see themselves having a life here. What are the options in terms of getting residence and getting work permits, just broadly?
Well, first of all, they cannot think about moving to Malaysia unless they have a job offer. So they must have a job with an international company. So that's number one, they have a job to come to. And then immigration comes next. So once the work permit is approved and they come into the country, and then we are already in touch with them before they come in. We will give them a list of housing. We know where their company will be located. If they have children, we will say, okay, your school is here. We'll say it's a British or American school. Then we will look in the middle between the school and the office, and we will have a look at properties in that area. We will send them a list of properties, and we try and send them also videos. So sometimes they can actually shortlist and say, okay, I will want to see these. And even when they come in, they'll say, okay, maybe we'll see a few more. No problem whatsoever. So we will sort out the schools first, then we will do the housing. Sometimes they go online and search for properties. No problem with that. But we need to tell them that when you get a property, you have to pay the agent commission as well as the landlord pays the agent commission. But if you come with us, we have our own agents. You don't have to pay any commission. The landlord will pay the agent the commission. You don't have to pay anything. So it actually saves them money. But sometimes they go online and they search as well. Once the housing is sorted out and we have checked the lease agreements, and sometimes it might be a personal lease or it could be a company lease. So we have to have that sorted out before as well. Once that is sorted out, we do orientation, like opening bank account, or I want a car rental or purchase a car. We will help them with all of that. Shopping, hospital, we need to show them and bring them in and have a walk around and introduce them to all of that as well. Then when they're checking in, we must make sure that we do a pre-check-in. So if they have asked for anything to be done, like I want a dishwasher or washing machine or whatever, it's all installed. Then we do a proper check-in with the assignee, the expat. We must take pictures of all the damages. There might be a scratch on the table, on the wooden floor, whatever damages we see, we take pictures because that would be used as evidence when you leave the country. Because sometimes landlords will try and say, oh, this wasn't here when you moved in, and that's so we say, there it is. And they want to get more money off you or keep your deposit, so to say, so they can do renovations or whatever themselves. So we must be on top and make sure we are here to protect the expat in Malaysia. If there's anything during the year, like they want to renew the lease, no problem, we can do that. If they have any issues with the property, we'll get in touch with the housing agent and say, okay, something is not working. In the lease agreement, they have to take care of sometimes maybe 200 or 300 ringgit worth of repairs. Like as long as it's not something that they might have broken it, then they would have to repair as long as it's, below 200 or 300 ringgit. If it's so the air cons are not working, then that would be the landlord's issue. Then we will get in touch with the landlord to get it repaired. They have to take care of the servicing of the air cons and anything else, like once every 6 months. The landlord will give them the contact number for the aircon service people. They'll have to do it. And at the end, when they're moving out, they must show the evidence that they have done it. So, but we are here for them during their stay. And we'll do a departure program for them as well to make sure everything is taken care of.
Yeah, sounds like it's very comprehensive. Every little thing.
We have it, we have it like in line, you know what I mean? Okay, have you got children? Okay, schools first, so we know, okay, schools and your office, so we know where to balance things. Because sometimes people will want to go to Ampang International School, but their office might be in PJ.
Right. Yeah.
So that would be, if they're willing to do it and they're happy with it, we go with them, whatever they want, you know what I mean? As long as we take them for a drive and they know the distance. You know, traffic-wise as well at 8 or 9 in the morning, it can be quite challenging.
Let's say someone, they want to come here. They get a 90-day visa, right, when they come into Malaysia?
Yeah, 1 month, when they come in, they will get 1 month stay. But yeah, I'm sure we would have all their paperwork done beforehand.
Yep.
So when they come in, it is already approved, okay? And straight away, we will pick up their passport and take it and have it chopped. So straight away, when they come in, their work permit is approved.
When you say chopped, what do you mean?
Their visa.
Oh, okay. And that goes in the passport?
In the passport, yes. So Mr. Hosner would have to pick up the visa, pick up the passport, take it to immigration and have it stamped.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is done as soon as they come in.
Yeah.
Okay, because that is needed for opening a bank account.
You need that work permit?
You need that work permit to open a bank account.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's very important that they have it as soon as possible.
How would someone, let's say they're set on living in Malaysia, how would they go about finding a company that's hiring expats? What would you recommend?
Well, okay, from their home country, they can do research. Well, first of all, if they're working overseas, what company they're working for. Okay, then they will know, oh yeah, we have a branch in Malaysia. Can I get transferred to Malaysia? You know what I mean? So they have to start from one. If they are in whichever field they're in, technical or whatever, they would have to look up the companies on the internet of what companies in Malaysia are doing technical work or computer work or whichever is their career they're graduated in. And they would have to contact those companies and get an interview. And if they're accepted, then they're welcome to come in.
Let's say that this is someone who is an entrepreneur. They want to start their own business and they want to get set up in Malaysia. What's different for them? How do they go about coming here?
Well, first of all, they would have to register their company. Number one, register their company. Once that's registered, then they can apply for a work permit. But they must have a paid-up capital, a certain amount of paid-up capital, and there's some other paperwork that is needed. But all that must be registered. And the paid-up capital can, if they have a Malaysian partner, if they can get a Malaysian partner, it would be, the paid-up capital might be different. To a foreigner would be much, much more expensive.
Okay, so they would need to register a company here.
They have to register a company here, yes. And depending on the company, paid-up capital that is needed. And once that is done, then we can apply for a work permit for the expat, riding on the company.
So, okay, so they register their own company, then they're applying for a work permit for their own company.
That's correct. The company would be applying for the work permit for him to work there.
And could that be any role? Like that could be CEO?
CEO or, something high up.
Yeah. What are some advantages of setting up a business here in Malaysia? How do you find, the business climate, tax, all of that?
Well, okay, now, if it's a foreign company, you can actually go to some government agencies that will, like if it's a new company or something, that they can welcome them in. And they will actually help them to establish the company because they want these extra companies to come in to work in Malaysia and employ Malaysians to work there as well. So it would be good for Malaysia. So there is some government departments that you can apply to, and they will actually help you to establish a company here. And then, of course, you will have to employ lots of locals, depending on the company. And also you might need some expertise from overseas, depending on what kind of business it is.
Yeah, so if someone wanted to set up a company here and then get the work permit, roughly what kind of time frame would we be talking about?
6 months to a year.
Before they can come here?
Before they can come here.
Okay, so this is something
they can be in and out. They can be in and out.
Let's say that someone's found that company who wants to hire them here. They want to come across. What are I've heard about, for example, Malaysia My Second Home. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, Malaysia My Second Home was very popular before the COVID. They would come in and you pay a certain amount of money, and they would sometimes bring in the car, get a new car. They might even buy a house. So for Malaysia, it was quite a lot of money, that they were putting in. Then COVID came, and then a lot of them left. Some of my field consultants were actually Malaysia My Second Home. They left back for Europe, and they put up the amount that you pay into the country if you wanted to stay here. They doubled it or tripled it. So of course, people are not, it's not welcoming them anymore with that amount of money.
Got it. What did it used to be when they
It was
launched it?
150 million.
It was 150.
Now 1 million.
1 million ringgit.
Yeah, 150,000, now 1 million.
Okay, so if you want to...
There's a big difference,
Yeah.
In the amount. So of course, people are not looking to come here, now.
And US dollars, we're talking about like 240,000 US dollars.
Yes.
That they've got to bring into the country.
Yes.
And what they're just going to deposit that into a local bank account.
Local bank account, and it's left there until they leave.
Wow.
Okay. And then some of them used to buy a house, buy cars. So, they were spending money here.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's not many people are looking into coming here.
Yeah. So that program's gone a little bit.
It's gone a bit
downhill.
down. They're supposed to be changing the rules again, but we have heard nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're actually working in their own country from here. They haven't retired. They would actually be working here in Malaysia for their own company in whatever country they're from. So they would travel to other countries in Asia as well, but they were using this as their hub.
As their base, yeah.
As their base, yes.
Got it. As far as the work permits go, are there different types of work permits you can get?
Oh yes, there's different. You would have Malaysia My Second Home, you would have school passes, you would have the employment passes, dependent passes as well.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Dependent passes would be for the wife and the children.
Okay.
Okay, then if the children go to school, you have to get an educational pass as well.
With that dependent pass, so now you can stay in Malaysia?
You can come in and out for 2 years, generally speaking, and then you can renew it again.
And technically, if you have that dependent pass, you can stay here for 2 years without having to leave?
Yes, 2 years.
Yeah.
Normally you would get 2 years.
Okay.
But it depends on immigration. You know what I mean? It depends how the officer feels in the morning. He can give 1 year, but generally it is 2 years.
And then for the kids, you're saying there's another one?
2 years, but if they have, if they're going to school, then they would have to get a school pass to go to school. But it's not an issue.
And so your company, you guys would help with all
that, yes.
The whole family, really?
Whole family, yes, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you do it all at the same time, or do you first get that
first it
work
would
permit?
be the work permit, and then as soon as that is approved, then we would apply for the others.
Once you've got that first work permit, what's the rough time frame to get the dependent pass?
That's much faster than the work permit. That would be much faster, and maybe about 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, okay, so pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then everyone can go and get bank accounts with those dependent
so
passes.
once they have the work permit, we can make an appointment at the bank, and we'll say, okay, tomorrow morning we'll take you to the bank. Can you please have your work permit, your company's contract letter, okay, and your passport for your family, your wife, if she's going to be a second person in the account. So we would take you to the bank, and it doesn't take very long to open an account. Sometimes we have a good relationship with that bank. We will actually ask them to come to your house or to your office.
Wow, the bank will come to you.
One lady would come and would actually do that for us. So it depends on the bank. So if we know somebody very well in that bank, we can actually ask them to pop out and come and visit you instead of you coming in.
Yeah. Now, as far as banking goes here, how would it compare to, say, Australia or the US or Canada? Do they have good, stable banks here?
Yes, they have good, stable banks, and you can do online payments now. The latest thing is all my utilities now are paid online. So you just go into the electricity or water or whatever, and you just pay online. Anything now you can pay online. Even if you've got credit cards, you can pay with those as well. So banking is very easy here now. I don't go to the bank for myself personally, maybe to take money out of the machine. Yes. And that would be after 5 o'clock, you know what I mean? So I don't really go to the bank to do any transactions except take money out, cash out from till the machines. and everything else you can do online. Yeah, so it's very easy.
Have you ever heard of anyone being able to get a bank account without a work permit?
No.
Very difficult.
No, it's very difficult, yes. And you can get a bank account. If you're here just for 6 months of that, you cannot apply for a bank account. You must be here for more than a year to 2 years.
Okay, so that when you have the work permit, you got to have the contract and it's got to say
That's correct.
more
That's
than a year.
right. Yes. We have people coming in for 6 months for our projects. They cannot open a bank account. So they would use the machine to take out money.
Bank accounts here can do all the multi-currency and all of that, so they could have Australian dollars and...
You can go to money changers to change Malaysian money. Like companies, like for us, we have a US account, Euro account, and Malaysian account in the one bank. Now, because people will pay us in US dollars when we invoice, or euros, depending on the thing. So if we go into our Euro account or US account, then we just transfer it when we need it into our ringgit account. For people coming in, no, it wouldn't be that easy to, there wouldn't be a need for it. Because if money comes into your ringgit account, automatically it'll be changed into ringgit. We say US dollars come into your ringgit account, automatically it's going to be changed into ringgit.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, step one, you really got to get that work permit.
Yeah. Work permit is number one. Yes,
Yeah.
Work permit is number one. And have a contract with your company that you're working with.
Yeah. Let's say you got a family, one of the parents has got offered a job here and they've been able to get the work permit, perhaps with the help of your services. They want to know about schooling here. Let's say they're coming from Australia or the US. What is the schooling like and what are the standards like and the main languages spoken? Tell us a little bit about that.
So in Malaysia, we have got the British school, American school, French school, German school. We have an Australian school as well. So we normally ask the parents, okay, would you like your children to go to which school? They say, British or American, whichever school they're interested in. We will contact the school and we'll say, have you got positions for children of this age group? Because the schools fill up very fast. They're very popular. Yes, we have positions. So we will go back to the parents and say, yes, there's positions in that. We will make an appointment for you. You're coming in on such and such a date. Okay, we'll make an appointment for you to take the children there. And to enter these schools, you will have to do an entrance test. You pass that, you will be accepted. Now, some children want to go to the British school, but their English is not very good. The British school will have a separate area for children with, to teach them, to move them up into the next grade. So they will have English as a second language, so they will be in one section for about a year. And with their improvement, they will move up to the next grade. So generally, we don't have an issue. Even Indians coming in, we've got an Indian international school as well. It depends on the parents. French, German, no problem. You can go there. You may have an entrance test, or you may be asked to bring your report card from your German school or whatever at home. You know what I mean? If you're going to a German school at home. But generally speaking, you would have to do entrance tests for the British and American schools. You would have to do.
What if they can't get through the entrance test and what happens?
Well, then they would be, okay, what's the reason? And they can actually go to a next one. But generally speaking, during the COVID, they used to do it online from their home country. So it is not a very difficult, if they're coming from a British school or American school, there shouldn't be any issues on passing the test.
Yep, so it's a little bit like an interview they could do online.
Yeah, they had some questions to answer and they might have been giving a little bit of maths or something else. And they used to do it online at home before they came in. So, of course, it's back to normal now, so they will do it on their arrival. And they'll have a tour of the place as well. So we try and do the schools first and then say, okay, now we have organized the schools. Where would you like to live? Your office is in this area, school is in this area. So would you like to live close to the school or in the middle? Mount Kiara is a very expat area, but there is a lot of traffic, we'll say from 5 o'clock onwards, the traffic going into that area would be quite difficult. So it depends on the area you live in. So we try and give them a choice. And we will offer them properties in the middle and properties closer to the school. So then they have a choice to make, And we would actually send them that before they come in, so they'll have an idea with some videos of the properties.
Of actual properties.
Of the actual properties, yeah. If it's apartment, or some people might want landed property. Yep. So it depends what they want. It's not a problem, and we tell them roughly, okay, you want a 4-bedroom property, we tell them roughly, okay, the cost will be so much, so much, so much. Okay, so it's up to beforehand. Actually, we would have the budget.
Yeah.
Their company would give us the budget, because sometimes it's actually their housing would be paid by the company. So it depends on their situation. Is it a company lease or a personal lease? But they would have a budget for their housing.
Now, the schooling, it's typical, like in Australia, for example, is for a start time, finish time, and 6 hours a day.
They would have actually some Australian teachers in the school as well as like the Americans, some Americans and British in the school as well. Teachers, you know what I mean? So they may have some local, but generally they would have expat teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're a teacher coming in, you can apply for a job, before you come in, you could actually apply for a job if you're a teacher to whichever, we'll say you're coming from England. We've got so many English schools that you can apply and see if you will be accepted for the wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a possibility.
Now, for the schooling, ballpark cost, like let's say they want to go to an Australian school, they've got a kid who's say 12 years. What's like ballpark?
Well, first of all, you'll have a deposit to pay, which can be quite high, and you'll have a yearly fee as well as their school fees. Okay, off the top of my head, no, I cannot tell you the exact one because it changes year by year. But I could give you the information and you can add it on if you wish.
But like, would we be talking like
a few thousand? Oh, yes.
20,000 ringgit?
Yes, can be. Yes, can be. Yes, can be.
Per year?
Per year, yes, can be, yes.
Right.
Yeah. And the deposit would be possibly a year's fee as well.
Do they get the deposit back at the end?
Get the deposit back, yes. You would have to give 2 months notice before you leave. So normally if they have children and they know they're leaving on such and such, we'll say in a few months, it's the same with the housing. We would give 2 months notice to the landlord. You give 2 months notice to the school that you'll be leaving on such and such.
Got it.
Yes.
Now let's say that someone's never been to Malaysia before. They're thinking about moving here. Tell us about just general culture, society around here. First of all, everyone or most people here will speak English, right?
Not really. No. You've got Malay, Bahasa Malay. That would be the main language. Okay? And then you will have Chinese. Some of them will only speak Chinese. They will have a little bit of English, yes. And then, of course, if you go to the university overseas, of course, your English is improved. So it depends on what bracket you fit into, okay? Yeah. But generally speaking, I came in 1981, not a word of Malay. And even today, my Malay is sikit, little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But everybody will understand and we can get by. So it is not really a problem for them if they cannot speak. No. You get people that will understand broken English. You know what I mean? And they can speak broken English, if you know what I mean. Broken English, a little few English words. Yeah, basically. And so it's not a problem. And then you can get lots of videos on the culture of Malaysia. In our website, you will have a video of Malaysia, and it brings you through the education, housing. It'll show you some pictures on that, different areas in Malaysia. So we would send them that as well for them to have a look at, just to give them an idea.
So let's say someone has decided to move here, they're going to use your services. You're telling me before about the field agents, how they'll basically show these people around. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, our field consultants, as we call them, they're freelance. Some of them are actually expats. Their husband would be working, so they would be home, nothing much to do, so they would join us. They may be German, Italian, or they might be other, but they would have a little bit of foreign languages. So if we have a French or a German person coming in family, we would try and pair them off with somebody that speaks French or German with them when they're here in Malaysia for their orientation, just to make them feel comfortable. Sometimes as well, we find that the wife of the expat coming in may not have English language, so that would come in very handy. And then we would also arrange English classes for her. Some of them may want Malay classes, so we would organize Malay classes for them as well if they want. But it's good to have somebody that you feel confident with speaking your own language. So we can help in that area.
Typically, how long does that whole process last for? Are they with them for about a week or much?
Okay, normally it would be max 5 days if you have a family. If it's just a couple, it would be 3 days. But even though we say 5 days, our consultants, they create a bond with the family, and it is like just a phone call away. Ring her up and say, okay, what can we do here or there if they're having any issues. Even the office, they can ring us anytime and let us know if they've got any problems, and we're there to help them at all times until they actually leave the country. So they don't have to be scared of, oh, what am I going to do? And that there's always somebody there for them.
Yeah. So they'll take them to banks.
They'll take them to the
grocery
banks, grocery shopping, and we'll go to do orientation. So we will go to the hospital, bring them in, and show them if they have want to see the gynecologist or whoever. Okay, you look at the list. There's always a list on the door, on the wall, and you look at the list and say, okay, you'll ask for that. Take them up to the reception area, and they will get registered, and so that would be the hospital closest to their house. We normally do it closest to their house, okay? The hospital, always a bank as well, as close as possible to the house. Shopping area as well. If they want to go to the gym or they want to play golf or some activities, and if they're home alone as well, if they don't have children, they'll say, oh my goodness, how am I going to deal with all this free time that I have? And every country has got an association here. So like the Irish Society, the American Women's Association, British Women's Association, every country has their own embassy and association here. Mm-hmm. So you'll always become a member of that association, and there'll be always activities. Ladies will be doing some activities. Also, they get involved in charity work, orphanage houses, schools, homes, should I say. They will teach English, or they will actually go in and help in the schools. I have got one friend that goes to one orphanage, and she's been going there, and she takes them to football on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings. She will take some of the boys to football outside organizations. So they feel that they're needed. They feel, oh, they have something to do, you know what I mean? And they make more friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as for all the different services that your company offers, can you just give us an overview? What are these services, and how can you help people if they do want to move here?
Well, if they want to move here, as I said, they would have to have a company that employs them. That's number one. And from there, you go to the work permit. And once that is approved, you go to either the schools for children or orientation to get accustomed to living here in Malaysia. And they always make friends. The husband would have friends from the office, like Chinese New Year. They might go to some colleague's house for Chinese New Year open house, or for the Malay New Year, they would go to the Malay house and have open house there as well. So they would be introduced into the culture. So it would be the husband that would be making friends, and even the wife sometimes as well. Some of these associations, you would have Malaysians married to English, so they become part of the English association as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that would be so the main thing is to have a job and immigration sorted out.
Yeah. And then so you can help them with all the other aspects, work permit, schooling,
orientation, banks. If you want introduction to any of the societies, like the British Women's, that we would introduce you to somebody that can take you there for one morning coffee or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you can see, oh, do I want to register here or not? You know what I mean? So you have the options to go around and do it. And there's also Malaysian cooking classes, baking classes. So there is a lot of activities for them. They'll never feel left out, or, you know. And the parents that have children going to school, they will go to drop off the kids, and they meet all the other mothers outside waiting for the kids or dropping off kids, and they say, let's go for a coffee, or, you know.
Yeah. Now, let's say someone wants to hire you, that they've heard all this, they think, okay, this sounds good. How do they get in touch with you and hire you?
They can just send us an email or give us a call, and then we would need their information. If it's a family that wants to come in, but we would say, okay, have you got a job here, and which area is it in? Is it in Penang, KL, Johor? Which area are you going to live in? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we need to know the area and family members, and and you have a job.
Mm-hmm. What's your website address again?
www-pathfinders-relocation.com.
Pathfinder-relocation.com. Okay, so you would go there if they want to get in touch with you.
Yes, and they can easily look us up as well on the website and contact us through that.
Now, you've been doing this for a very long time, so you would have seen a lot of people come in and people probably leave as well. What do you think are the biggest cultural shocks that people have when they're coming from Australia or Canada or US? What are the big differences here that they wouldn't see back home?
Food-wise is one of the biggest difference that they all fall in love with, because we have Indian, Chinese, and Malay food choices, and some of them are not used to the chili, but by the time they leave, they're in love with it. Also, housing. We've had one expat, I must say, he saw 60 properties, 60 properties, housing and apartments, and he had issues with all of them he didn't like, and he rejected his job in Malaysia.
After seeing 60 houses?
60 houses, he rejected his job in Malaysia. He wasn't happy with it. That was quite a challenge to us because it has never happened before. In 1 day, 2 days, generally an expat will have selected a property. And sometimes they select from what we sent them, and if they want to see some more, they say, can we have some more in the same block? So it was quite challenging to find somebody not liking the housing in Malaysia. I mean, we've got some very nice properties. But generally speaking, I don't think they will have any challenges coming to Malaysia. If you're coming alone, though, we've had one girl who came alone that worked in Penang in an international company. She came alone and she got the flu just after arriving. She hadn't made any friends in the office. So she phoned me up and she said, oh, I'm not feeling well. So I quickly went and picked her up and took her to the doctor. She had a very bad flu. And then I took her to the shop to get some shopping and that for her. And she was from India, actually. I took her to Little India to have her usual tea from India. And she was so happy that, I paid attention to her. And even she's gone back now many years. Even to today, she'll contact me 2 or 3 times a year just to say hello. So she was very happy and really appreciative that we paid attention. And that goes for even a family, or if there's any issues, you just have to say, okay, I'm having an issue here, there. If you don't have any friends, not a problem. Quickly we will organize. Like somebody had an accident. So we quickly rang the rental company and they quickly went there and sorted it out and got a tow truck and everything and, managed. So you just have to give us a call anytime. We're there for you.
Why did you decide to move to Malaysia? What drew you here?
I was married to a Malaysian and I have got 2 children. I'm a single mom now. But that is why I actually started working because I was a single mom. And then it grew on me, and when the company I was working for, a Singapore company, was bought out, I started my own. And at that time, I would go for employing divorced single moms because I had the experience, okay, and they're available. And of course, they want some pocket money. So my office was mostly single moms at the office. And then when we moved to KL, we changed that. Now we have men and women in our office. Also been requested to join the Relocate Asia Pacific group. That was a big change in us as well, in our company, because we actually grew from that. From that. By going to Europe and US, we grew. And also with the Euro Conference, they offer us EGQS, European Global Quality Seal. And I took the opportunity to go for that, and we had to go through some tests. We have been qualified for Euro Quality Seal, and we're the only one in Malaysia. And every 2 years, we have to be recertified. So that was a big bonus for us to have that qualifications. And there's also some of the staff, they have also done courses on the relocation as well from Europe.
Yeah.
So we are quite well versed in what's happening and how to help people. So with that qualification, it has added more bonus, shall I say, to our company, respect to our company.
So guys, if you are thinking about moving to Malaysia, you sound like you really know this topic, and you can help someone in every aspect of moving here. Please
send us an email, give us a call, tell us your issues, and we're there for you.
So So pathfinder-relocation.com.
That's right.
Okay, excellent. All right, so guys, get in touch with Triona. Thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next episode.